However, the next scene was like a horror movie, with Aki seeing rooms full of tortured people. Strangely, her boyfriend was missing without a trace. The moment the man escaped the compound, he ran to a local for help, saying, "My boyfriend is in the contact area of the Korean building looking like a movie villain." He calmed the panicked guy and quickly made a call. Thought it was a rescue call but fell into an absurd loop. Half an hour later, the park bus brought him back. The resident was pulling the strings, deciding this guy would serve as a lesson for new employees, meaning taking him out. At that moment, Aki stepped up like a movie hero trying to die. "Still want to talk. You two are from an art major, and I'm doing this project solo. Is that even possible?" He didn't expect to be let go by the big guy, thinking he was about to take a beating. Soon, they were taken to the workroom, just in time to bump into an old employee. The other was busy handling blood like he was mixing cocktails, not a care in the world. The old employee was about to leave when he heard hard work could lead back to Korea, which made Aki suspicious. After the guard left, he decided to secretly plot a just two needed, and everyone could return safely. Then the guard came to check, saw them working hard, and left happily. Little did he know that the guy in a hat was actually a dummy. Aki seized the chance to sneak out and even snagged Aki, posing as a taxi driver, took him to a cooperating guide to trace old employees. Then he tied him up in the car, and it was a real panic stop. 3 seconds left, heart stopping. Else, the guide would be roadkill. Aki showed the missing boy's ID, seeking old employees, only to be confused by numerous group members. The guide wasn't sure either, as headquarters were in charge. To clarify, Aki took his phone. He went to discuss with his teammates to find headquarters. The only option left was to make them give themselves away. So Aki cleverly dressed up, found Sister Balya, and bolted after catching her attention like a movie heroine. She left a note before leaving, and early next morning, Sister Balya rushed with her gang to the address. Seeing such a massive show of force, everyone in the park freaked out. Meanwhile, Aki sipped coffee calmly, sending a run message to the park people using the tour guide's phone. They could only call the staff to evacuate, and soon the employees reached headquarters, while the boss behind the scenes couldn't stop them either. Who would have thought he was the police chief handling missing persons cases? The chief suspected there were moles within the department. He made employees write wills planning to eliminate them one by one. Aki then saw the missing boy going back to Korea was a lie. Since all the groups had gathered, they could carpet bomb them and save those scammed. Aki definitely wasn't going to hold back against these scam gangs. I counted exactly 18 seconds. After rescuing, Aki charged towards the chief. But unexpectedly, he was stopped midway by the big guy, and the chief took this chance to make a run for it. Although weaker than the big guy, Aki's 6 years in special forces paid off. One punch knocked him down. Just then, Aki was surrounded by henchmen expecting another beating. Unexpectedly, his team showed up and handed him a motorcycle. They disguised as soldiers to trap the opponent. The chief fled, but Aki tracked him in real time with high-tech. By taking advantage of the shortcut, he rapidly reduced the distance between them and successfully caught up. But surprisingly, the car failed to start, leaving the chief with no choice but to flee for his life. He stopped when cornered. Aki urged him to surrender, but the chief pointed a gun at him instead. The chief slowly squeezed the trigger, but strangely, Aki came out unscathed while the chief met his grandma. Local police rescued Aki just in time. In the end, all criminal gangs were arrested. Meanwhile, victims regained freedom. The old lady, jokingly, considered suicide, stepping precariously at the step's edge. Suddenly, she saw an ad next to the tracks that read, "Don't end it, we'll get you revenge." In despair, she stared at the oncoming train, echoing the ad's message. At that moment, the old lady held back her pain, recounting how people had recently come to sell products in the village. One man captivated many seniors with his lovely singing voice. After the show, he invited everyone to stay for lunch, and people, feeling charmed, started expressing interest in buying his products. Just as an elderly lady stepped away from the dining table, she inadvertently overheard a whispered conversation among the few people gathered together, and at this moment, The man made a mental decision that he had to take action. He went over to help her clean up, but she was adamant about doing it herself. Later, the man held a raffle. Whoever won could take the healing garment home. The thrilling moment arrived. Who would win the big prize? The old lady was too focused on the show, completely clueless that she was the actual. However, once she got on stage, she was told she had to pay 20% in taxes, or she'd have to make a run for it. Not wanting to owe anyone a favor, she quickly hightailed it out of there. The next morning, the man showed up at her stall, taking a seaweed and starting to sing. Within minutes, he attracted a crowd. Grateful, the old lady used her savings to buy his products. But the man said, "I appreciate the gesture, but keep the money for yourself. If you feel awkward about it, you could help me out in another way. Just apply for a credit card, and I can get a hefty commission." Without a second thought, the old lady filled out her name, and to return the favor, the man decided to give her a present.